no more sorrow in my life.
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on the Powerhouse radio station are those of the host, guests, and callers, are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The show, found on the Powerhouse radio station, can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or conditions. Opinions stated by various contributors to the Powerhouse Radio and its programming are not to be considered as endorsed by the Powerhouse Radio station. Visitors are urged to use their own discernment to draw their own conclusion. We emphasize the importance of keeping an open mind.
Yeah, you listen to the sounds of DJ Fourth Quarter in your ear right now. If you're in your car, if you're at home, if you're on your phone, let's gripe, baby.
Driving home and you're feeling kinda tired. Radio makes the same thing every night. So you need to switch to your life. Traffic got you jammed up every night. Tune in to Powerhouse. Wednesday, 7 to 9. You need to check them out. I promise I ain't trying to hype. But one good listen tonight, it might change your life. So what's the name of the show? You need something to just ride to on the go. Or you might be home for long gone. You can even dial in on your phone. I promise that you're gonna love it. Just try one. It'll blow your mind. Now I'ma say it just one more time. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is October the 18th, y'all. Half the month is gone. Welcome to Let's Gripe at thepowerhouseradio.com. Hey, Mckenna. Hey, MG. How you guys doing this evening?
Good evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing? Are you enjoying the fall weather? It was a little nippy yesterday and this morning.
What up, everybody? To McKenna's point, I don't even know if it was a fall, man. I think it just went straight to the wintertime. And just said, we're going to skip this whole fall thing. It ain't necessary.
Like y'all have plenty of summertime. You just need to go straight from summer to winter. Cause I mean, it was nippy. I had socks and everything.
So one day last week, working from home, you get a privilege. You don't have to leave if you really don't want to. So I woke up one morning and, I felt the bones hurting, y'all. I said, why am I feeling this way? Hey, Miss James, good evening. I said, why my knees hurting me? Honey, I opened the door later on and I said, oh, that's right, honey. Like they said back in the day, how your grandparents talk about they knee hurting them, it's going to rain or it's going to be cold. That's how I felt. And I had to realize, oh, yeah, that's right. We in that time. It's getting cold. So to answer your question, Mckenna, fall, I think like MG said, it's skipping over fall. This is running right to winter.
Straight to
it. Boom.
Whoop, there it is.
Because, he's already looking for turkey in the grocery store.
Might as well gobble, gobble. Like, who's cooking for Thanksgiving? What's the plan? These conversations need to be had. Like, are you cooking? Whose house are we going to? Like, these conversations need to be had because in 4 weeks, it's going to be gobble, gobble day. And we need to know what the plan is.
Well, MG, we came on late, so we're gonna leave the gripes till next week. But see, now that we have you on now, we need to get back to that Will and Jada because social media is going on. Everybody's mad. They just telling Jada to shut up.
Okay, wait. Real quick before MG says anything, I just have a quick comment, and you can add this to your comment. So, is Jada our Britney Spears?
How so?
Well, I was just thinking that erratic behavior, it looks different in different people, but her behavior just seems a touch erratic to me. That's all.
I don't know. I don't. I, I, I wouldn't quite say Brittany because Brittany was out there with the knives and stuff like that, so that might be a little different. Every day she playing with her life, so I don't, I don't know.
But let me chime in real quick. So how about an adult gotta make a disclaimer saying that I'm not gonna hurt myself, y'all. The knife is fake. When did an adult have to make a disclaimer about having a knife? Is she that off, y'all? I'm just saying.
I think people are probably. Then she has some money issues, correct? Something to that effect, right? With her parents or somebody, right?
Well, they was just guarding her money so she don't do no foolishness with it.
Might play with knives and stuff. Okay. Give it to the garbage man because he smiled at her.
Erratic behavior, yes, erratic behavior. Mm-hmm.
But back to this Jada and Will thing, man. She didn't have to say nothing, but Brother Will is toxic as they come. Here's why I believe so. And she feed into it. Oh, she love it. Every day she wake up, she love it and hate it at the same time. Because Brother Will is going on all these shows and pretty much said, and I've watched a lot of interviews with him, and he pretty much said, look, doesn't matter what happens, I'm not going to divorce you. No matter what you do, whatever you say, no, it don't matter. We gonna never divorce. He's been on record saying, I want to do everything I can to please someone. When I can't please someone, I don't know what to do. I just keep trying. Now, Jada don't like him like that. She appreciates him, but she don't like him like that. Ain't no way possible. And for Brother Will, he keep trying his hardest. He said in an interview, I keep trying my hardest to make her happy, but I can't. That's a very, very toxic behavior. Because you're going to keep on trying and you're going to keep on trying. And she just going to keep on telling you in so many words, I don't like you like that. I appreciate you. You the homie. You the father of my kids. But I don't like you like that. Now, there's other guy over here who died on September 13, 1996. This other guy who is my soulmate for life. I don't know how you somebody's soulmate for life and you ain't here no more, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, because I saw an interview with that guy, and that guy said, yeah, they pretty much said a guy named, kind of haunts him a little bit. He said when he first met him, he really didn't like him too tough. Why? Because Jada spoke glowingly about him, meaning he was a little bit jealous about his things she said. And to this day, in 2023, she's still saying the same thing. 20 years, 20 plus years, I think, right? About not 20 years. Yep, no, almost about 20 years, right? He been gone. You still telling folk that's your dude.
Well, what I heard she was saying, she tried to clarify it and said that her and that guy has never been intimate. That they were just good friends and they connected good, so and you gotta leave good.
I'm not really sure if that makes it better or worse. I mean, the point that MG is making is that I'm still connected to this soulmate, this person who nobody can compare to in everywhere. And whether I was intimate or not intimate with him, I hold this memory of this relationship or this experience so high that I continue to talk about it like it happened yesterday, but it's been 20 years. And I'm still in this euphoria of this experience or memory of an experience. And no current or past relationship is ever going to be able to replace this experience. And I value this experience so much that I'm going to keep talking about it and let whoever needs to hear it know that this person, this man was the one who was my soulmate. Not the current one, but this man who's no longer with us was my soulmate. And, you know, they talk about shadow work and chasing waterfalls. It's difficult to live in the shadow of somebody that's not here. And
Yes.
and you can't. And who was it? Somebody said she's never satisfied. Maybe I'm just like she's never satisfied. So the measuring stick is failure because she's never satisfied. And no matter what you do or attempt to do or try to do or hold out, it's not going to be good enough because you're not the soulmate. You are not the measuring stick by which my happiness is going to be fulfilled by. It's not you. I'm not, and as MG said, she's just not into them. She appreciates him. It's like, remember that expression, I got love for you? I have love for you, like love in your direction. I have love towards you. But do I love you? Am I in love with you? I got love for you.
Exactly.
I think they made a vow to God and to each other that no matter what, that they wouldn't divorce, and they would try to work it out as much as they can. But divorce was one of the things that was not going on the table. And I think I heard it because was it Will sit around the red table? What is it? We're gonna ride or die, or something like that. So Faye said, "Bad marriage for life."
Facts.
I mean, they could have that bad marriage and they can be doing their own thing. They can be separated, live in the same house. You know, their house probably about, 50,000 square foot? So be on one side, really don't have to run into each other if they don't want to. I get it.
Is that marriage though? MG, you're married. Is that marriage?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
I think when you said, Tonia, about before God, I think I would X him out of that equation. Only on the grounds of like when you make it before God, you plan on it just being you and that other person. You know what I mean? For that sake. But then when you make a pact with yourselves, that we just gonna stay together no matter what. No matter if you out here with this person or I'm out here with that person, we still gonna continue to be together. We're gonna be separated because they're not even saying they married. They said they separated. You know what I mean? Which is just say if they could say something like, "Oh, you just had open relationship. I do my thing, they do their thing, but we still married." You're like, "Nah, we separated." You know what I mean? It's really it's weird language. And I think somebody had made a point that like maybe they think people can't digest that they haven't opened a marriage, but we can. It's 2023. Like we had all these poly relationship, going on. We understand that concept now. And if you choose to do that in your marriage, then you choose to do that in your marriage. But don't be like, nah, we ain't really like that. But we stay married, but we don't want to, we don't do anything to, all that other stuff that you were saying. It didn't make sense. But my problem is not with her really. My problem is with Brother Will. And this obsessive need to please someone. And he's been trying to please her and make her happy for how long they've been married, 20-something years. And at some point, which is what is going on now, you see how toxic it is. She can come on national TV and say, "You know what? Will's stupid. I don't like him. He's terrible at this, he's terrible at that." And Will probably 30 years, if they appreciate it. And Will probably be like, Well, sometimes when people, but I still love her, and she's still gonna be my wife, no matter what.
Well, you know
That's
what, MG?
toxic.
I think the role has turned in their relationship, and I think it opens up a conversation because remember, it used to be the other way. The woman trying to do everything to please the man, make him happy, keep him from the streets, and keep him coming home. So now it's reversed. She's doing it to him, and he is trying to make her happy, make her feel good, whatever it is to make it work to be there. It seems like he's weak. So would you consider a woman being weak too if the roles were reversed? Because a majority, that's what women do in a relationship.
Well, see, I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's a role reversal. I don't. I just think each relationship is different. Because I mean, my girl Jasmine Sullivan had a song that I hate and love at the same time. It's called "I'm in Love with Another Man." So I believe throughout history, women have always not been into their husband or someone like that, and their husband has tried to please them. Because we're in an age now within the past 50 or so years where you actually have to like the person or supposed to like the person or love the person that you're married. It's not just based solely on whether they're a good provider or they're a good woman to do whatever, cook and clean or whatever else. So you actually have to kind of semi like the person or love the person or get married. So I believe if throughout our history there's been plenty of women who just for whatever reason not in love or don't like their husband, and their husband tried to do everything they can to please them. Whether it's buying gifts, doing all these other things to try to please them, it just hasn't worked. So I don't necessarily know this is a role reversal, but I do believe I don't think it's I don't know if it's necessarily a weakness necessarily, because I think we all end up in a situation sometimes where we're in love with someone or we feel a certain way about someone and they don't feel that same way about us, and we do the things that we feel like will please that person, and it's not reciprocal. So I feel like we all do that. But now his he's on a 30-year run with it, as Faye just said, and so for me that's toxic. You know what I mean? And it could be the same way for women that's been in marriages for years, whether they have their kids and stay with that person. I think a lot of times, and I'm gonna finish this up so I can let somebody else talk. But I think a lot of times what we compare it to is probably for women is being in what we call physically abusive relationships or even emotionally abusive relationships. You know what I mean? Where you see that no matter what you do, this person's still gonna do this to you, and you're gonna stick around to continue taking that abuse. Um, but yeah, brother Will, I don't think it's necessarily weakness, as it would say, because I mean people get caught up in what they get caught up in. But I don't like it.
So I guess fast forward, what's next? Like she's on this little book tour. There are going to be people that read the book and have book club discussions. Do you think it's better for Will to just fade to gray and be quiet, or to continue to have these official statements that he's been having the past day and a half?
Well, actually, I haven't heard any statements. I just seen that he's been doing some crazy posts. Like he was on a boat, and he was laying down, and his caption was notification turned off. And he was just laying down like he was in this big coat or whatever somewhere. And then he got up and he was outside, and the boat driving fast, and he just like, and then he did another TikTok today where he sat down and he acted like he was about to say, he says, well, I think it's time for me to make a statement. And then he goes like this, and then it just did some kind of crazy thing and like took you out into like a wilderness. But he haven't really been saying anything in a few days now. And I think he gets it. Don't say nothing, because you're just going to sink yourself more. I think that's where it is with him. And
You
that's
get
where it should be.
You got something, McKenna? Because I thought I heard a statement that he said he did too. But it sounded like more of the same, if I'm not mistaken.
I just saw like the official statement, but I didn't click on it. So, but I guess the question would be the same. You know, should he come out and make a statement, or should he just continue to kind of fade to gray and stay quiet?
Yeah, he needs to. At this point, it's nothing needs to be said. At this time, the image that they once had is definitely tarnished now. Even when the entanglement came out, they still survived that because all of a sudden now we have this new term, this entanglement. I'm in an entanglement. So that kind of gave a trend. And then when the slap came out, it's like, yo, you got her having you looking crazy out here. So now you're not going to be able to go to the Oscar for the next how many umpteen years. Never very. And then now this, when you had the opportunity to, when a young man came out and said, yeah, I've been playing with this, you know, my cougar. At that time, she could have came out and said nothing. She could have came out and said, you know what? Well, I didn't cheat on my husband. We have been separated. I think everyone would have felt like, okay, we get it. Okay. But you didn't do that. You came out with this whole entanglement. You could tell that Will did not sleep for nights before he went around the red table, eyes red, swollen, because you could tell he was crying. And, you know, he probably was like, Jada, really? Good night, Miss Butterfly. He probably was like, Jada, like, didn't I tell you, like, whatever you do, you got to give these people some, you know, to sign this disclosure that they can't talk about nothing. Now you got us out there looking like this. Now you know now. You know, I could tell that he was fussing at her. Right? And then now we got to do a statement. But I think if they had came out and said, you know what, we were separated. We were going through some. We separated, and now we're trying to work things out. Everyone would have been like, okay, cool. But you come out with this whole foolishness about entanglement, this, that, never said nothing. Then you're going to come out years later because now the slap has went off. Nobody talking about the slap no more. Nobody talking about you and that entanglement no more. All this kind of stuff. So now you're going to talk about we've been separated from 2016. So everybody's just like, you just a lie. We don't believe nothing you say no more. You could tell us the sky is blue. No, it's not. Let me really go look at this. So she just kind of just tarnished them that they just gonna have to just like buy an island and just live on that island for real. I that's just my opinion.
I mean, I don't think they have to really do all that. I think that if each person focuses on whatever they want to do, that's what we'll focus on too. So if Will just dives back into his art, his music, I really would like to see him write a record now, come up with a CD, and add to hip hop. I mean, we're talking about 50 years of hip hop still this year. I would like for him to take all of that energy and all of this experience and emotions and the tabloids and everything and write some good music. And let us remember why we liked Will, how we were introduced to the Fresh Prince in the first place. And maybe incorporate some of his evolution in the music so that, you know, we have something else to focus on him as an artist. That's what I would like to see him. Just stay quiet, drop a record, and let's focus on Will and his skill sets, because I don't remember anything that Jada's done recently other than Girls Trip.
And you know, she had a group out years ago. A musical group. And as far as she was saying, they were doing good. So what happened to that? I think she gets bored. I think her attention span is very low because she's also in the book. She has written that she is, she used to sell drugs.
I mean, a lot of artists sold drugs back in the 80s and the 90s. That's not newsworthy. Like, right, it didn't give her street cred or take away from her experience. Like, it's information that has no weight.
Look, you know, I'm from up north. You know, she from up north. Let me tell you what she really did, y'all. she hold the drugs for the guys and they came and got it. Like,
we already know what that was. She ran it from one dude to the next. She was a runner, a quick little runner. She made her a couple $100. You know, that's all.
She
just held the package.
She held the package. She wasn't up there in the house cutting and scraping and scaling and weighing and packing and distributing. No. She had the brown, back then it was a brown paper bag. She had the brown paper bag and she took that brown paper bag from one side of the stop sign to the other. That's it.
So she had a duffel bag in her pocket.
Duffel bag. It was uneventful. Like that disclaimer was an uneventful disclaimer. Like, it's what people did. Like, we understand why it happened. You know, people came from low income housing. Their parents were addicted to drugs. Teenagers had to figure out a way to make a couple of dollars. And what did they do? They took the duffel bag from one side of the street to the next.
Just saying.
I'm just saying. Come on now. Come on now. But I really hope this fades to gray shortly. In probably about 2 weeks, you know, the book will have done what it did and we'll move on to something else. Somebody else is probably writing a book right now that's going to be released and we'll be talking about their book in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully this is a quick story. It ends, it wraps up. And so are they still doing the Red Table or have they ceased doing that? Because I haven't watched that. And I think I've only seen 2 episodes in its entirety.
So the Red Table had got canceled. Facebook had stopped doing Red Table, but apparently it's coming back. She got bored because she wasn't doing anything. So before we go further, we see your comment, and of course, so let's go over. So Faye say basically he is saying he has nothing to say. Berlin says it's not right what she did. These women make me look at us wrong. Like, oh, she's saying that women make men look at us wrongly. You know what I'm saying? And then Miss Butterfly says, think about it. He is aware of everything in her book. What's done in the dark comes into the light. So K-Chat says, maybe not confusion, public family business. And then Faye said, no, it was the Melia Church tie, the tie envelope.
Right, she had the manila envelope walking it from one side of the street. I got it.
So it says, black women are already tarnished in men's eyes. Yeah, I think she just needs to find herself in that. One of the interview I did come across, she did say she was looking for Will to make her happy, and she realized that he couldn't. And to all our listeners, I even had to learn that. I remember a few years ago, it was the same thing. I did everything to make everybody happy and please everyone. And I was looking for others to do the same for me. And I had to realize that that's impossible. So when you start making your own self happy, making yourself happy don't mean you got to travel the world, have $5 million. That make you real comfortable. But you got to be happy with you inside first, so you can also make someone else happy. So you got to work on yourself first. Because when you look for other people to do it, then that's when all the problems come in the confusion. So I think maybe this is her coming out with everything to cleanse herself, for a fresh start. Maybe that could be it. And loving herself more, because a lot of times you don't know what people is going through, what their self-esteem is, because I always saw her as this beautiful woman. I saw her and Will as this beautiful couple, not perfect couple, because we know nothing is perfect, but I just felt they were a very beautiful couple. And I'm like, they can make it. They can make it. So to hear what's going on, it doesn't shock me, because remember, different personality, and as we get older, we change. We're growing into a different person as we get older. And there are things that we could have do, we can't do it now, or things we would have not done, we might want to do it now. So we change, but can we change together?
That's the biggest question. That's what I was going to ask.
Can we change together? Sometimes, and there's a lot of relationships that you see out here now, And it's more and more. I mean, like these celebrities that you look and you're like, wow, they're breaking up. And it's so much, and you're like, I thought about it last week. I said, what is it that we can do? So this do affect Black women in general and make us look as if we are jokers. I won't say it doesn't affect all of us because we know who we are, but I do believe that we have to look into ourselves. Because I thought about it with myself. I was like, relationships that I've been in, what could have I done to make it better? What did I do wrong that I shouldn't have done? So it's more or less sitting here thinking about what could I have done to make it work. Tonia, it's funny you said that. My sister and I just had this conversation last night about how she's always for everyone else, but how she wants her mother to be that for her. Wow, that one right there hit home because that's me too. I was like that. Like the things that I do for my mom and the love that I have for her is reversed. And I'm learning every day. Now it's like I just had a conversation before we went on live. I was like, if someone look at me today and say, you think you all of that, guess what I'm going to say, y'all? I am. But if you had said that to me 6 months ago, I'm like, why would you say that? I would have.
So quick question about that. Oh, for that journey that she may or may not be on, because there's been some years, I think, since that came out. How long is your spouse, significant other, whichever one, is supposed to wait or set aside for that journey? Because I'd imagine during that journey, it's going to be a lot of ups and downs, probably more downs than anything. But how long are you waiting on that journey?
So I'm going to come back to that question, and I'm going to say that how I view it, and this is me not reading the book because I haven't read the book, and I've only seen maybe 5 minutes of an interview. I think sometimes things make sense to us. Like it really makes sense to me that X, Y, and Z. And I write a book because I want it to make sense for other people. And so to me, I view this as her sharing her story, her experience from her point of view, from her lens, so that it can make sense to other people as well. And our truth is only our truth because it's only relevant to our experience and how we view the situation and the circumstance. And then back to your question about how long, I would say as long as we agree on it. Because if we're a partner and we're in a partnership, then we're having some constant communication and constantly reevaluating where we are and what we're agreeing upon. So as long as we're agreeing that we're in this journey together, or I'm giving you the space that you need to embark upon this journey, then I think that's how long it takes. But once we no longer agree that we're gonna be a stay-at-home mother or breastfeed our kids or save money for vacation, once we no longer agree, that's when the tension starts to rise, because now we're not on the same path at the same time, at the same pace. And so I think that, if they are agreeing to be on this journey or agreeing to give her the space to evolve in this way, then everything is okay. But it doesn't seem, based on Will's silence, that there was some agreement. And when you don't have agreement, you have division. And so their division looks like, well, we're separated, but we're still married. They're divided because if they weren't separated, then they would be together. And they're not together, so they're separated. So therefore, they're divided. And yes, marriage is the term that they're hiding or the label that they're hiding behind, but are they in a relationship where they're relating to each other? Are they connected? Are they pouring into each other? Are they on this journey together? Are they actively working on meeting the needs that they have individually so that they can meet the needs that they have collectively? And from all intents and purposes, the answer to that was it doesn't appear to be so because we're separated. So I don't think they're adding any value anywhere to anybody's relationship because none of it makes sense to any of them but them. And the purpose of the book is to make it make sense to everybody, but it's not. It's only going to make sense to you, and it may not even make sense to you. You're just buying into it because that's what you've decided to do. I mean, we decide to do things that don't make sense. We decide on intentionally to do things that don't make sense. People decide to drink and drive all the time. We know that we shouldn't drink and drive. We know that we've been at the bar and we've had 3 too many drinks, and your homie says, "Hey, you want me to call you a cab? You want me to get you an Uber? You want to take you good, man?" And what do you say? "I'm good." So we are constantly making decisions that don't make sense. It's just part of our human nature. And guess what it is? It's irrational. But it is what it is, and to each his own. And we're going to give them the space because if nothing else, it's entertaining from a distance. It's annoying from a distance. It's telling, from a distance. It creates opportunities for us to form opinions about both of them from a distance. And then if nothing else, I think as individuals, we should check ourselves and check our own relationships and make sure that the relationships that we have with ourselves, with our significant others, with our higher powers, with our family, are healthy and thriving, and are meeting the needs that we all have.
Perfectly said. Just to piggyback on that, to answer MG question is, and I believe also love. When you love someone, there's not a time limit. When you love someone, and there's a difference when you love someone and when you're in love. So it's one of the things that when you love someone, you don't want to see them suffer. You want to be there for them through thick and thin, good and bad. So I think there's no time frame as far as how long. But during that journey, you definitely want to make sure who around you that is loving you and is supporting you, you don't hurt them. You don't humiliate them. You don't embarrass them. Those are the things you protect those things. And I think right there is just that is lacking in their situation. The respect of each other's feelings, especially when it comes to her. Because some of the things, like, I remember in a relationship, and whatever the reason was why we broke up, I still kept that person, let them have their dignity. You know how you don't trash them, you don't bash them. Because at one time you loved this person. One time this person was the person you wanted to spend the rest of your life with, et cetera, et cetera. So you still leave that. You still have that amount of respect. And I think that's just where this coming with the Smiths is that the level of respect is not there for a man. And that's where the breakdown is. But the only thing that, like Mckenna said, we could do, we can definitely just wish them the best in this journey that they're going on, because they know where they're going or where their intention is to go. We're just on the outside. They trying to get us to buy this book so we can help them pay for this journey. I'm gonna throw it in there. So for us to, pay for that journey,
Yeah.
So,
somebody got to. Somebody got to.
Somebody got to pay. Let's save the little dollars we got, But again, I definitely want to go ahead and touch base on. So we remember Missy Elliott. She her hometown in Virginia. They had an honorary day for her. Well, guess what? So today, she donated $50,000 to cover past due rents for residents in her hometown, which is Virginia. Hold on, I'm looking for the name of it. Portsmouth, Virginia. So she did donate that. Kudos, because we know a lot of people, especially senior citizens, they are having a hard time with the inflation, food prices, and these utility bills, y'all. So, sometimes with they're on a fixed income. So sometimes they have to choose if they're going to pay their rent or buy some food or get their medicine. So, of course, sometimes the food and the medicine does take precedent. So they're late on it. So kudos to Missy Elliott giving back to a hometown. Now I think that's what the Smiths should do. They should be going around building homes and so forth. If you want something new, especially in California, all the homeless people. But, we got to shout out the Libra birthdays. Happy birthday to all the Libras who celebrated their birthday this month. You guys have any shout out? Because I know we came on late, but we still hopping off at 8. Any shout outs?
So just happy birthday to my nephew. His birthday was October the 12th. Happy birthday to my cousin. Her birthday was October the 10th. Happy birthday to my dad. His birthday was October the 13th. And just real quick, for my dad's birthday this past weekend, I took him indoor skydiving. He wanted to jump out of the plane. I was like, listen, we're not jumping out of the plane. It's not safe but what we can do, because you have to have an alternate, I said we can do the indoor skydiving. So I took him indoor skydiving and he had a great time. So what's up, Pops? Happy birthday. Happy 75th.
Happy birthday, Pops. You got to give him what he wants, no? Now, if he say he want to jump out the real plane, you got to give him what he want now.
Listen, he had a pacemaker put in this year, and I was like, that's not what's happening. I made the executive decision. The committee met and decided on his behalf, and we presented him with an option. The option is indoor skydiving. That's the option. I said what I said. So you get to be the parent of your parents. Keep living, because your kids eventually will become your parents. So I'm just here to tell you, it's going to happen too.
And you know what, the good point that Mckenna said, we have to have the next show. We have to talk about this, because now with everything that's going on, like you said, the children, we are now becoming the parent. We are now, and I know even with my mom and I, I'm like, I gotta tell her this, and I'm doing this and everything. So today she called me, she was like, I asked you, can you order me a phone case? You haven't ordered it. I just need you to show me how to order it. Once I learn how to order, I order myself. I said, who you talking to? Who you trying to boss around? Acting like, when we had to go to school and we needed some school books or some, you remember the book covers to wrap your book and all that? And we had to go to our parents and get them. She coming out. Wait a minute now. I said, okay. So yes, the roles are reversing, y'all. So we got to take that up on the next show. What about this role reversing of the children becoming their parents' parents? Listen, we got a lot of folks online listening. Can we go ahead and click that like button, please? Make sure you subscribe, because a lot of my listeners and my good friends, what I do, I send y'all texts. But can y'all subscribe so you can get the notification? Because sometimes that's why I be distracted sometimes. I just be looking down on the phone, sending the text. So go on and subscribe so you can get notification when the Powerhouse Radio is on with Let's Gripe and Reasoning Thursday and Lady D show on Saturday. So you can get your notification. And also, like that button. We try to get that like. I mean, I'm trying to go to, one of those Reeboks or maybe Pumas and see if, we could get a deal or something, Let's Gripe could represent them. I mean, can you subscribe? Because they're going to ask me how many likes or subscribers they got. I can't tell them 2. So subscribe. I'm just saying.
And then I'm going to start putting my feet up on the screen like this.
Exactly. I have my hat on.
Right. Right.
I have my hat on saying Puma. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just saying, we need some endorsements. So can you go on and just like it, please? And also subscribe. So when I start saying, hey, yo, we got our followers. I'm just saying, but we do appreciate you guys for tuning in, for joining our conversation. Because we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you again for tuning in. And we see you next week. Until then, this is Tonia saying, see you later.
This is Mckenna. Have a great week, everyone.
This is MJ. I appreciate y'all for listening. All right, y'all have a good one.
Good night, everybody.
Oh yeah, next week we'll talk about what's going on in
To the sounds of DJ Folk Court in your ear right now.
We'll
If you're
get
in
on
your car, if you're at home, if you're on your phone, let's gripe, baby.
Driving home and you're feeling kinda tired. Radio play the same thing every day. So you need to switch to your life. Traffic got you jammed up every night. Tune in to Powerhouse. Wednesday, 7 to 9. You need to check them out. I promise I ain't trying to hype. But one good listen tonight, it might change your life. So what's the name of the show? You need something to just ride to on the go. or you might be home for log on. You can get it all in on your phone. I promise that you're gonna love it. Just try one.
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the
Every
Caribbean.
Wednesday from 7 to 9.
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean. You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.